grab the bag and slap it.
You're taking a wine bag from a box of wine and you're passing around, and that's a drinking game?
That's a drinking game.
And then everyone just takes their like as much as they. Well, I don't understand what
it's called slap the bag.
Well,
That's what it's called. Slap the
Why
bag.
do you
the bag.
slap it? What's the? Is there any utility to slapping the bag, or is it just?
No, it's just for fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, we are live. Actually, are we live?
Yep.
Welcome back to Truth Hurts, where we expose corrupt politicians, shitty box wine, and the lying corporate media. That's Jesse and me. Jesse drops us right on. Well, actually, it was you that dropped it on.
Yeah.
The-
So I'll take your.
No,
suggestion.
let's wait. Let's wait
Okay.
until into the
Okay.
show because we got some important stuff to discuss. Very interesting thing that came up right before we went live. Hey, listen, it's a hang, right? Who cares? It doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jake Duesenberg. We are broadcasting live from Roseville, Minnesota. We couldn't do this show if you guys didn't tune in, so we really appreciate the audience that both watches live. You know, the Tuckers, the K-Walls, the T-Walls, the Patriot Carla Nelsons of the world. Who am I forgetting? Napkinator. Who am I? Help me out, guys. Who am I forgetting? Some
I'm
of our
still-
great people.
Rumbled said to
Debbie
lock me down.
commented. There
Brad
we go.
Ganser. What's that?
Debbie Z.
Debbie Z, thank you for tuning in. Let us know where you're watching from. We couldn't do this without you guys. Based in Minnesota. I like that one. That one's good.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Hat Harry. There we go. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to be part of the program, go ahead and comment in the Rumble section. We might get over to YouTube as well. If you for sure want to be heard on this program, you can interrupt us at any time. Just $10 or more on a Rumble rant. If you do like a $50 Rumble rant, you pretty much bought the show, okay? Because that's like an ad placement, right? Isn't that? That's
Yeah.
basically a $50 ad placement in the show. There you go. Anyone. This is it. If you want to plug your business, $50 Rumble rant. What a great deal that is. Or anything that you want to plug. Or you could say you don't like Jake's hair. That could be another one, right? Or you think the real Matt Walsh is better than the blonde Matt Walsh. So
Fake
speaking of
news.
speaking of
news.
which, well, looks like that. Look at that. Bad Hat Harry is now a monthly supporter.
Oh,
Didn't make
right
our
on.
screen. So thank you very much, Bad Hat Harry. Look at that.
Nice.
Bringing people to the Truth Hurts show, which is unlike any other show out there in Minnesota, at least. I think we're more upper greater Midwest, right? At this point, we just had Wisconsin on the show last week or this last Tuesday. Good show if you haven't seen it. I don't want to say we've taken over the nation. There's no way. There's really good shows out there.
We're
right?
getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah. So, speaking of Baby Walsh, Mr. Straight Lace himself, William Beck, reading your comments today. How you doing there, William?
Good. I got big shoes to fill with Bridget being gone, but I'll do my best.
Kind of small, actually. How dare you
Very
say that?
tiny
She's
shoes,
got
yeah.
tiny shoes. She does not have big feet. That was such a weird thing to say.
Oh,
Just kidding. I understood the metaphor. And telling you why Donald Trump's always right and playing 4D chess is none other than MAGA Jesse. How you doing there, buddy?
Yep, doing good. I got my Perry Johnson shirt on. He's my number 2 guy behind Donald Trump. I think the RNC is going to unfairly exclude him from the debate, so I just had to give him some support.
I think most people are like, who the hell is that guy?
Yeah.
Running the dials as usual is Deep State Dawson, who used to work for the CIA. And we say used to, right? Quotation marks. Yeah, used to.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker, good to see you there. Brad Ganser, good to see you there. Let us know that you're watching and where you're watching from today on the
Tucker,
comment
do you
section.
not know who Matt Walsh is? Or are you talking about Bridget? He said who?
I don't know. See, there you go. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Perry
See,
Johnson.
Perry Johnson,
Okay, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's
Oh.
my point. No one knows who that is.
He's actually my second choice too, second
Yeah.
or third. I threw him a buck so he'd get on the debate stage.
Are you saying that DeSantis first and Trump? Where's Trump rank in your? You believe he doesn't like Trump's not his number 2?
Right.
Well, Trump might be. Well, Trump probably is my number 2 or number 1, depending on the day.
You know,
Because I genuinely do go back and forth at this point. I
In our
haven't worn my
pre-
DeSantis hat in forever.
in our pre-show, yeah, everyone's turning against him. In our pre-show, we're kind of talking like how Trump is. It's like we're dating Trump, right? It's like if you think going back to the day, you know, for us old married men, right, William? It's like the girl that you had. It was like not so obvious. Like you liked her, but she had this problem. That's what Trump is to me right now, right? Like at some point I'm like, he screwed this up and he didn't drain the swamp and da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm like, but the deep state hates him. Oh, man, Trump's the best. I go all over the place on this thing. All we do know is that he's likely to get the nomination. I mean, he just seems to be climbing up. And next week, apparently, Georgia, that old indictment's coming down.
Yeah.
You know, Trump says only one indictment away from sealing the deal.
I heard it's going to be 12 charges against him.
12, huh?
Something like that.
Well, why not make it a baker's dozen, right?
Yeah,
There you go.
right. Might
gotta
as
have
well
a
throw
punch
another
card
fake one
for
on there.
those
All of them are fake
indictments he
anyway.
gets.
We got to get that meme going.
Oh,
A punch card, yeah, that's
Oh,
a good
okay.
one. That's
This
a
is how
very
we
good
go
one.
viral.
The Trump indictment punch card. Shoot, someone's gonna steal that.
Mhm.
All right,
I can get started on it while we're live.
there you go. We got important things to talk about. Gas prices, why they keep going up. Will they go back down? We'll talk about that. Then we're going to talk about Twitter. It was brought to our attention that they were fined $350 for not giving the DOJ access to the Trump account. They eventually did. So, but they were fined $350,000 contempt of court. What's it like? Well, first of all, they're trying to get access to Trump's account, right? That's where we are at right now, in the slow decline to totalitarianism in the United States. So, what's it like to be targeted by a weaponized government agency? We can tell you. We got an update on our own case against the Campaign Finance Board. Big news. Crazy partisan political hit job against us. And then I added something. I didn't talk about this in the show prep. I forgot. But Dr. Rand Paul was on Fox News, and he was discussing how there's a smoking gun in the Fauci lie to Congress. So if we get time, we'll get to that too, which is it's funny that that's like the last story we may or may not get to, right?
I actually
But
don't know anything about this one.
Well, exactly. And another thing is, I don't even think Fauci's ever going to be held accountable, which is really sad. The guy's guilty as sin, right?
Well, I mean, if Trump's back, maybe the grassroots will put some pressure on him to do it.
Right. I see Tucker says FBI murdered an elderly man in Idaho. Utah. I don't really want to get to that story, but maybe we'll come up. Just don't threaten the president of the United States on social media. Very bad idea, you know. And I don't want to. I don't know what the whole story is
Breaking
and how
news:
it ended
Jake Duesenberg endorses the murder of this man in Utah.
That is not what. See, he's always putting words in my mouth, Jesse.
I know it. I know it well.
It does seem like they probably went to a new level, but I don't know, right? We don't
Yeah,
know. at
right.
this
We don't
point.
know
Yeah.
the details.
Like, did he come to a house with a door pointing at a police? You don't do that. You also don't drive away, and cops are making a lawful stop, so don't do that. But you're not going to be driving because gas prices are so damn high, right? There's the
Great
transition for you.
transition, yeah.
They're so damn high. Now, I got a camping trip coming up, right? And it's like a 3-hour drive. Like, it does weigh into the discussion about what are the finances of this trip. Now, first of all, we're going up with another couple. They are like, well, we're just going to grab McDonald's on the way up. We all have little kids, okay? And yeah, all you health nuts out there, I get it. McDonald's, shitty, terrible food. I actually don't even eat McDonald's anymore. I can't stand McDonald's. It's just disgusting.
What do you have against McDonald's?
Well, first of all, they still have signs up, like "Come work here, we're hiring," with masked workers. That really pisses me off.
So, yeah.
So I'm sure they're all involved with the ESG stuff, but McDonald's is shitty food. It's just terrible. Now
it
their
is, but
fries,
it tastes good.
the fries taste. Oh, their burgers are awful.
No, the burgers are great. Now, we could talk about the seed oils and all the fillers that they put in the food, but if you're looking for a quick bite, I think it's great tasting
Where
food
do
for
you
real
put
cheap.
it? Okay, so let's say you got all the options of fast food. Okay, Five Guys is not fast food, just so you know. Okay, you got to go into the restaurant. Takes.
We talking
5, 10
burgers
minutes.
or we talking fast food?
We're talking
too?
about burgers. Okay,
Okay.
sticking with burgers. Where does McDonald's rank in that?
I'd put them third or fourth if we're talking nationwide chains. Now, if you're
We're talking
regional,
about where we are right now, so In-N-Out doesn't count. If you had to go travel somewhere, where does McDonald's rank
probably
in terms
four.
of quality in the burger?
4.
4 after what?
I think Wendy's and
Agree with
Culver's
that?
are up there.
Yep. Burger King ahead of them?
No, Burger King is like at the bottom of the barrel food.
Okay. White Castle?
White Castle's up there.
Yeah, higher than McDonald's?
I think one tier above McDonald's, yes.
I agree.
All right, great.
So how on earth are you arguing for McDonald's? You just found 3 different restaurants that clearly outweigh. What's so funny?
I'm reading these comments. Tucker says Food Network for Liberty.
Yeah.
Bad Hat Harry says the fries are blanched and fat before quick frozen and then deep fried at the store.
Yeah.
What's blanched mean?
I'm not really sure, but it is definitely the fries are definitely delicious. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making a comment on After Effects, but I'm just looking at their burgers. The burgers are not good.
Well, look, in this economy...
And you just agreed with me once you started ranking them.
Right. Well, in this economy, you need cheap food, and McDonald's is
Oh,
as
that's
cheap
where I was
as it
going
comes.
with. Yeah, Arby's. Yeah, that's right. Actually, Arby's burgers are pretty good.
I haven't tried the Arby's
Yeah,
burgers.
they finally said, okay, we'll do it. And they call them Wagyu burgers, even though they're only 51%. Which
Yeah,
guess
I don't
the
believe
majority.
that for a second. They're not actually Wagyu.
Was it
you know?
51% Wagyu?
That's what they say. Or they say they're Wagyu, but they are. I think the details are 51%.
I'm actually happy with that,
Yeah,
if that's true.
they're better than McDonald's burgers. The reason I was bringing this up is you make this trip plan. It's like McDonald's. Do you know what it costs for like a family? We're a family of 5 because we got a 3-year-old. Isn't that funny how I just don't count them? It's like, but it's really how much food is he eating? It's almost like you can have a little extra fries and a little extra chicken nuggets, right? He's not quite at that whole. I'm gonna have my own Happy Meal stage. He's close though. He's got an appetite for a 3-year-old. He just turned 3, by the way.
Happy birthday.
But it's like, well, thank you. Born in COVID, by the way.
Oof.
Not conceived in COVID.
Do you wear a mask
did
when you went to
happen.
the hospital?
That was the first time I had to wear a mask. Yeah.
Ooh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got you there. Yeah, I'm going to go see my kid, right? I'm going to see my kid being born. I was like, so then I go into the hospital because obviously I think you guys know I'm very anti-mask. They're useless, pointless, whatever. They get you in the hospitals, right? That's about the one where they get you because it's not like you go, well, I'm going to go down the street, right? Like, no, that wasn't an option. So I go in and we get to the room and the nurse is like, hey, just so you know, in here you don't need to wear it. I was like, you rock. I didn't even make a comment. Now, maybe she knew who I was. I doubt it. But she was just like, this is bullshit, right? So anyhow, long story short, yeah, that was about one of the rare times I got guilted. And then they get a checkup or something like that. And the second time I got guilted into it. I even got through airport security without a mask on in the height of COVID.
That's impressive.
I know. That was very. I flew down to Florida. It was, yeah.
I know Mort did that too, although he got banned from Delta, I think, for doing that.
Yeah, but that happened at the tail end. That was the day they stopped.
That's right.
It was during his flight, and he got the news on the flight that Delta gave up the policy or the FAA or however it went. And then he's like, I'm not wearing this thing. And they were going to ban him from flights. And they dropped that because it turns out, yeah, he was right. It was no longer
That's
enforced.
so funny.
Anyhow, yeah, I see in the comments. Yeah, so listen, Napkinator's right. It ain't cheap, $12 a meal. And I am old enough to remember $1 menus at McDonald's. So when I go there with my family, we're talking $40-some for shitty fast food.
Again, that's a bold word. But
What's a
continue.
bold word?
Well, I'm not going to say it. But
Shitty?
Yeah.
See, that's why we call them straight-laced words.
I don't like
You can't even say
swearing.
shitty, right? I do have a potty mouth, I guess. Sure. My mom's watching and going, "Geez, Jake." No,
Oh.
it's a factual statement.
Tucker's onto something with the McDonald's app. I'm sorry. I'm
Go ahead.
not going to
What does
spend too
Tucker
much
gotta
time in the
say?
comments section, but you can get some really good deals. He's talking about the 29-cent Big Macs or the free fries. Very good deals.
Lots of deals.
Then
Great
you rack up
deals.
the points, too. You get free food. It's really a good deal.
Yeah, the art of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
40-some
loves-
bucks for McDonald's.
Trump loves McDonald's.
That goes in. Here, we're 13 minutes in the show, and I even got into gas prices. And you're only one Diet Coke in.
It's the
Or
last
Coke
one,
Zero.
actually.
Or Coke Zero. Is that really the last Coke?
This is the last one.
Damn, I was actually in the mood for one.
I'm
Oh, sorry.
already shaking.
Oh my God, what do you got on your screen there? Are you already working on your meme?
Yeah,
Oh, look at
The
this.
Trump indictment meme.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm
fun.
glad you're working on it. I didn't want to have to get to that today.
Well, we all know why prices are going up. Fast food, they can barely find workers. They're paying people $15 to flip burgers, right? And they still have a hard time finding workers, right? Customer service down. It's annoying. We go up to the Moose Lake exit off of 35. It's on the way to a lot of places we go. I mean, you're gonna not only commit to a $40-some meal of crappy McDonald's. We'll never get McDonald's as a sponsor, but take down your damn signs wearing masks, and then we'll talk. And And I think you're committed to waiting like 15 minutes to get your dang food.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's not a good experience anymore. So anyhow, my point is, yeah, I think these things come into play when you're traveling, and gas prices we're all noticing. Now we're also commuters. You and I come from the East Metro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesse's almost walking distance, and same with Dawson. But you and I commute quite a ways into the office, right?
Yeah, I got to fill up my gas tank maybe twice a week at this point. Once or
Right.
twice, yeah.
And it's like now we're at 381. Pull up gas prices here in Minnesota, Dawson. There you go. That's AAA, which is always keeping a mark here. 3808 is the average in Minnesota. I think we're 389 in the East Metro right now. Is that right? Do you remember?
Hmm.
Yeah, 389. Down in Cottage Grove, it's like 370, which is nice, but
Scroll
where
down
we're
there
at.
real quick, Dawson. They usually give you some context historically. Okay, so the average today is 3808.
we're doing better
Tad
than we were a year
higher.
ago.
Tad higher. I got the hiccups today. Sorry. Tad higher yesterday. Week ago. Well, okay. So basically stabilized. It's so funny when you see that stabilized. It hasn't stabilized in the East Metro. But a month ago, almost 40 cents cheaper. Right. Now 1 year ago, we all remember that things were getting out of hand again. 390, and it kind of came down. Isn't that the funny thing? It's like what is that hostage condition where like you're held hostage and your world kind of flips upside down and then you grow accustomed.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Is it? I guess you could call it Stockholm syndrome a little bit. That's like when you sympathize with your captors, right?
Joe
I guess-
Biden doesn't control the gas prices.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, we get accustomed to it. It's like
Yeah.
we were paying like under $2 for gasoline not that long ago, right? So now we're like almost double that price. Now, why is that? There's a lot of reasons, but let's look at historically. Let's go to the next chart. This is from EIA.gov. This is going to show. So this is more important. Let's zoom in. See that chart up there? That's going to show historic gas prices going back into the 90s. Now, gentlemen and gentle ladies watching the show that were products of the 90s, you know, Brad, even older than me, I could see up there. I started driving at about 90-some cents a gallon, something like that, you know, back in the 90s. So here we are at almost quadruple that price, right? If you look, during the Great Recession of 2008, so oil prices were climbing. Now, this was, I think, predictable. What did they do in that time period? Do you guys know? 2007, 2008? You remember what they did? Quantitative easing, printing a ton of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you see a sharp decline. That sharp decline, and I think I said this on the show, gas prices are going to continue to be high and maybe even rise. If they come down, it spells bad news. And the bad news is right there in 2009, we all know the Great Recession happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they print all this money, and then eventually there's less demand for oil and less demand for gasoline, and one of the byproducts or end products of oil, because there's a global recession.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look now to the far right, and remember, it never really comes down like back to the old days, mostly because we never contract that money supply. There's always more money in the economy because they printed all this new money. And that's what you're seeing the result of. So when people think like, oh, are we going to get back to those 99 cents a gallon? No, we're never going to get down there. If we were getting down there, it's like a global depression and almost no one's buying oil or gas because they probably can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw this the other day. Car loans, what's the word I'm looking for? Defaults are going up big time.
Mm-hmm.
There are more people tapping into their 401ks. It's like up like 35% over a year ago. So like a 35% incline in people tapping into their 401ks for emergency funds. Consumer debt now, credit card debt. Consumer credit card debt over $1 trillion first time ever.
Yeah, I remember looking at the average and it was something insane.
What do you mean average long term or what?
The average credit card debt in 2023.
Well, you know, I think I also just read this that you can. There was an old story about the average person can't afford a $600 unexpected bill, it's now like $450, and that's back up to like 60% of Americans.
Right.
We find that article, I think it's like 62% of Americans can't afford $450 unplanned expense.
Mm-hmm.
That's the situation. Now, here's what they're saying. This is what the experts are saying, that it's a destocking issue. So there's interest rates going up, and so the cost of money has gone up. So in other words, people aren't buying up supplies of oil, whether that's a refinery or speculators, because it costs too much to borrow the money to keep onto that oil, right? And so that, and then what is the other thing that they're saying? The heat price, the heat, the hot temperatures this summer, which, by the way, whenever I see that now, I'm just waiting for them to connect it to climate change, and now we have to have lockdowns and social credit score for climate change.
Just put that in the show notes.
Okay, where did you put it?
F12.
F12. Let me pull that up, Dawson. Yep. So those are the other two explanation, or the two main explanations they're using. No one's really talking about the inflation. What does that say? 57% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency expense. I read a different article. This is from back in January. Look up.
Did it change that much from January, you think?
Yeah, but I was talking about $450. 45%.
Yeah, I got a couple articles that said 1,000. I can see if I can find that 450
I
one.
just read this. Whatever. It's probably different polling companies asking different questions. Either way, it's crazy. Of course, what I was thinking, it was like 60-some percent. So this would not make sense. Fake news, right? Long story short, it seems to be very true, though, that people can't afford to do that.
It's a story from 2019 about a $400 emergency charge. That's only 40% of Americans.
Well, when I was reading it, I should have marked it for the show. Does that ever happen to you? Like, you're like reading something that'd be good for the show, and then you just don't. Like, I'll remember it, and you don't.
When we were doing Political Junkies, that happened quite a bit. Where it was like, I saw this story, but I can't find it now.
Do you remember that? There was this day where you guys did Political Junkies. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Are you just sick of owning him so much that it's just not fun to do Political Junkies anymore?
We're gonna win. There's gonna be so much winning.
No, I was just looking up something though related to what we were talking about here, because I was thinking about like how much about our oil reserves and how much we actually have, and some experts say that we'll have, if we keep the current rates of the way we're buying and using oil, they say that we have 50 years left or so. I don't know if that's a good number or not, but it's interesting that it's obvious that the price of oil is going to continually raise, and it's going to go through different waves and changes and highs and lows. But considering the fact that it's a limited supply, and there's only so much of it, it's finite. We're going to see the prices continue to rise. And also, I was thinking with all these electric vehicles that are out there now, I imagine that has some influence on why maybe a little bit of demand is down for oil. But as we were talking about before the show, that you were saying it's the oil refineries where the demand is low, and maybe it has something to do with the weather, maybe it has something to do with how warm it is, and maybe there is some safety hazards with it. But I think it's especially with Joe Biden, less drilling and whatnot. So
I'm not saying
there's a lot of
demand's low.
factors.
I'm saying demand's high or relatively stable.
Right.
It's the supply that's going down.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't make sense there with electric vehicles, other than major shifts in the economy, which is obviously happening, government policies to try to encourage this. We just wrote a story, didn't we, about electric buses now? What's that about?
Yeah, the state's going to be expanding their funds for electric buses in school districts, or grants, I think it is. I think they're earmarking $3 million bucks.
We'll see
for
how that
electric
goes
buses.
on those minus 20 days. Let's get into this story here on Twitter. So apparently Jack Smith, I mean, if you were to make a villain prosecutor, like you're like, let's find a guy to cast as this villain prosecutor. That's who it is. It's Jack Smith, right? So he goes and he asks Twitter, and I think this is going back to January. We're just finding out about the story, by the way, but I think it goes back to January. Let me pull this up on my computer. I don't know why I'm having trouble. Twitter fined $350,000 for failing to produce Trump account info in 2020 election probe. Now just think about this here for a second. Yeah, they sought a warrant back in January 2023. Think about this. They go after, and this is before formal charges, right? Mm-hmm. They go after Donald Trump on a witch hunt, on something that's so ridiculous, right? Of all the charges against him, this is the most ridiculous one. First of all, he's the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. So you're charging the president of the United States and something that he didn't actually get convicted by the Senate. He was impeached, but he wasn't convicted by the Senate. So now they're going after him on this one. And he is a leading candidate for president of the United States. So the weaponized DOJ now can go after and get the private data of a leading candidate. I mean, hello. That's a big problem. Twitter, the platform now known as X, was fined $350,000 after being held in contempt for failing to provide timely access to former President Trump's account, as ordered by the court, according to newly unsealed court filing. The fine was imposed after special counsel Jack Smith secured a search warrant of the account in connection with Trump's efforts to remain in power after losing the 2020 election. His office sought the warrant in January 2023. The social media company did not fully produce the requested information to Smith until 3 days after a court-ordered deadline, according to the filing. The company did ultimately comply with the court's order. So before you go crowning Elon Musk as some hero, they ended up providing it. Now this, if I'm remembering right, Musk bought Twitter in December, right? It was somewhere, because we started our Twitter account in December, and I think it was pretty quickly after. It was either November, December.
I think it might have been November, but let me double check that.
You would imagine it was after the election.
October 27th, 2022.
Oh, okay. All right. So relatively new in his time at Twitter. He's already getting this request. That's no random request. First of all, I think you shouldn't give anyone's information out to the DOJ. It kind of sucks that courts go along with it. But certainly not a presidential candidate. Like, what are we doing here? And, of course, it's not encrypted. Now, I'm wondering, Jesse, maybe you know, does he actually have something juicy and something that they could take from a Twitter direct messages? Like, I'm confused on this. Is he really communicating, giving them something of some good evidence on his Twitter account?
No, and that's the problem. We don't even know what they're looking for. They don't have any reason to be digging into the Twitter. They don't have any reason to be getting into his account. There's no specific evidence that they're looking for. It's a fishing expedition. They're hoping for anything they can find. And you're right that do we think that Trump is DMing with people on Twitter? I'm sure that maybe some people send him messages. I'm not even sure if he accepted DMs on there, but if there was, I'm sure it's just a bunch of random people sending stuff. But Trump's not involved with that. But I don't even know what Jack Smith would be trying to find on here. The tweets that Trump put out there are still out there, unless they were deleted by Twitter. And it's really disappointing to see that Elon Musk is, totally weak, and that he's going to cave to the feds on whatever he's told to do. That he's going to hand over all this information, and it raises my skepticism for Elon.
Well, what's so funny?
You got to put this up.
What's that? Oh, you got.
He's got the meme.
You already got the meme?
Yeah.
It's very good.
I work
God,
fast.
is that why we kept having disruptions on our
What do you mean
live feed?
disruption?
What is this?
What disruptions?
Sorry. That probably.
We're supposed to look at this little screen here and see it.
I'll get it up. Just
All right.
give me time. William, will you download that picture and email it to me?
Oh, yeah, that works.
Also, we can hear your mouse clicks, so
Good.
don't use your mouse.
Yeah, well, who uses a mouse anyhow on a laptop? Actually, probably a lot of
If
people.
I went to your office right now, would I find a mouse?
On my laptop? No.
He has a desktop.
I got both. I use both. I'm like this.
Well, nobody likes doing the. You
do
can't
it
see
all
what
the
I'm
time.
doing
Well,
here,
that's why
but-
I have an Apple. Apple is like smoother. Actually, I have no idea. I have no idea. But I use it. Yeah, I do the mouse all the time.
I don't know. It inhibits my productivity.
Well, we wouldn't want to do that now, would we?
Well, considering I work here, probably not.
Or do you?
Or do I?
Well, let's talk about that. Campaign Finance Board complaint. All
That
right.
was a smooth transition.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. That's my middle name. Here is the deal about weaponized government agencies. Are you really messing with our live feed over there?
Dude, you're the only one that can see that.
Oh,
I
am
have
the only
no
one that-
idea what
okay,
you're
I was
talking about.
I'm looking at the screen. I see it pop off to something different.
No.
So, no, they're not seeing it. Okay, good. Just want to square that away. Yesterday, So if you're not following this story, Campaign Finance Board. Well, let me step back even further. The Rhino establishment. Okay, we're not even talking about the Democrats here. We're talking about the Rhino establishment. They gather these ridiculous complaints against us, all fabricated, not true at all. They get this Democrat law firm to sign on to them, write 10, 20 pages with exhibits, and they submit this to the Campaign Finance Board. Now, you would imagine the Campaign Finance Board, legitimate function, make sure that people are following the rules for elections, all that kind of stuff. We have nothing to do with the Campaign Finance Board. We're not even regulated by these people, right? We're not an election group. But somehow we're now being investigated twice by the Campaign Finance Board because the Rhino establishment comes up with these false complaints about us, submits them with a law firm, and then apparently the Campaign Finance Board, which are Walz appointed people, are like, we're going to help them out and investigate these people and try to make our life a living hell. Not really effective at that, but try to make us waste resources and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe ultimately to destroy us. I don't know. Good luck on that one. So the first case, which actually goes back to like a year ago, like May of 2022, the investigator that's assigned it. Now you can imagine they have these Walz appointed board members. They meet once a month. They all have jobs and stuff like that. They're not professionals. They just get appointed. They're political appointees. So they show up once a month for a board meeting. Other than that, they have people that work full time. They're professionals. They're, lawyers. I think they all are lawyers. I want to say they all have law degrees. So they're full time professionals. They get assigned the job of looking into these complaints, right? So the first complaint against us. The guy looks at it and he concludes, no violation, right? Do we have the article? I want to pull this up here real quick.
I just want to
don't show the top part of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't show the top.
That was the only thing that I was worried about.
The headline?
Or well, the picture not too? The headline, I meant the image.
I will scroll past.
I want to run that by the lawyer before I send that one out. This I could show. Okay, scroll down a little bit. This is the court order. No, I'm sorry. This is the draft probable cause letter by the full-time professional. And you see how he says, no violation occurred, is dismissed. All it needs is a signature from the chairman or from the board.
So this is the recommendation.
That's the recommendation at the board meeting. This is a full-time guy. You would think the guy that knows the most about it. What do? They ignore his recommendation, their full-time employee, and go investigate them. And then all of a sudden they're asking questions they shouldn't be asking, and now we had to go to court with these guys. It's ridiculous. It's still ongoing. Ridiculous.
Yeah, to be clear, this is like an extrajudicial body that for some reason has the ability to make your life a living hell.
Yes, exactly. It's almost like, let me think of a good. Imagine you're in the business of dental work, and the FEC. Let me give a better example. The SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, which basically is a regulator for financial firms. Let's imagine you're in the dental business and the SEC is trying to regulate you, right? That's kind of what it's like. We have nothing to do. We're not regulated. We didn't have submitted these guys, but they're going over and they're investigating someone that they shouldn't be investigating.
Was the dental one intentional or is it?
I know. I thought that. All right, pull that back up. So, and I'm just going to show you how this is partisan. So this was like July last year. Scroll down. So then the chairman of the GOP, and we've talked about this on the show, David Hand, says, we welcome the CFP's findings. He sends us an email to all the Republicans in the state of Minnesota. We welcome the CFP's finding and applaud the House Republican Campaign Committee for speaking out against Action for Liberty. Action for Liberty has adopted as its mission to defeat Republicans. Not true. Not true at all. What a liar. And disrupt Minnesota GOP conventions, parades, and other political activities in an effort to intimidate the public. What the hell's he even talking about?
Yeah, I don't even know what
that one's a crazy one. This guy's loony. So, and then they are not committed to Republican principles and do not believe. So, once again, lying sack of crap. Now, he acts like, oh, I had nothing to do with this. You see there is the CFB's, the Republican Party CFB account, and you can see they paid for legal services with the DFL law firm, Jacobson, Magnuson, Anderson, and Halloran, basically a Democrat law firm. They hired these guys right in that time frame where this complaint was made against us. What are those legal services for? Don't know. And by the way, Republican Party also stiffened them on about $28,000 on unpaid bills. You see that? All right. So then there's a new complaint. Now this originated from the Republicans in the Senate. They go and this one's really ridiculous. They alleged that I paid, or Action for Liberty paid William Beck to go work for a campaign. It's not true at all. Not a single bit of that true. So they started investigating. We were shocked. They're like, we're going to investigate this. They got no proof, but they're going to investigate it.
By the way, I did work for a campaign, but I actually ceased working I ceased having a contract with Action for Liberty at the time.
Wouldn't even matter. Even if we had a contract with you to come on a show, do social, it wouldn't matter because we didn't.
Right.
We could do that, which is actually really interesting because it's like, are they trying to stop groups like us from even working with anyone? Like they want to hamper us? It could be another thing they're trying to get out of it. So here you go. This investigator, different person, another staff member, investigates it. She just found and let us know a week ago that her conclusion was no violation occurred. See, complaint is dismissed. Again, another case. We're like, yes, we won these 2 cases. Guess what? Just yesterday we find out the Campaign Finance Board, the political appointees by Governor Walz, ignored their staff member again. Never happened before. Ignored staff members twice against one organization and said, investigate them more. So, I look at this Trump stuff, and that's all I got there, Dawson. I look at this Trump stuff. I don't know. Like, once again, Trump is like that girl in college that you kind of like, and then you see all the faults. You're going back and forth. And I'm like, is he guilty? Is he not guilty? But I can see what they're doing against Donald Trump. And it's very problematic just because he is a leading candidate for president to go after a political opponent. But it's like, I see this. I know what these guys are doing. They are weaponizing government. And I don't think this is going in a good direction for our country. Like, I don't know if we're going to get out of this thing. We also witnessed just, on Tuesday, we had a guy on the show and his pastor, arrested for reading a Bible in the public square, right? And Gabe Wrench we had on, what was that, last Thursday? Did we have Gabe on Thursday?
I think it was.
Yeah. Arrested during COVID for not being 6 feet apart from other people like you?
Right.
Like they make up this stuff. I mean, this is not a good direction for a country, but when it's happening to the President of the United States, we got a real problem. Sorry, the leading candidate for President of the United States.
And future President of the United States.
Maybe future again, yeah. You were telling me that Joe Manchin is really talking about running as the No Labels Party presidential candidate, right?
Yeah, The Hill just did a story about this today. I mean, everyone knows that Joe Manchin doesn't exactly get along with his party, but in recent months, he's really been publicly flirting with the idea of running third party for president and potentially being a spoiler for Joe Biden. I mean, polls show that if Joe Manchin ran, he would essentially hand the election to Donald Trump in these swing states like Michigan and Arizona.
Well, and it'd be close. He would also take away some Republican votes. That's for sure. The rhinos are going to vote for Joe Manchin. The people that hate Trump.
Well, the rhinos aren't going to vote for Trump anyway, so it's
some of them will, some of them won't. But I agree with you that I think it would hurt Joe Biden a little bit more than it would hurt Trump if Joe Manchin were running. He just did a town hall with Utah Governor John Huntsman, or former Utah Governor John Huntsman, New Hampshire. They're doing a lot of talking about it. Considering the grifters that run the No Labels Party and the No Labels movement, I got a feeling they're going to back out and they're going to endorse Joe Biden, essentially. Because the founder of the group, he's going on all these news channels saying the goal of our organization is to defeat Trump. It's not to defeat Trump and Biden. They're exclusively focused on Trump. And so, we'll see what goes on with that. But, I think it's interesting. I hope Joe Manchin gets in. Because, like you're saying, I think it's gonna help the Republicans, but we'll see.
Yeah. There was this third-party potential in Minnesota. The name slipped my mind. Someone from the media. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
what was the guy's name?
That WCCO guy, right?
Correct. Yeah. And they thought
he was going to run with the Forward Party.
Right. Thought this would be a big spoiler.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen. I think it's. Well, let me ask you guys this question. I'm seeing more talk about Dean Phillips. What the hell is going on here? Like, is he? I have a hard time believing this guy's really going rogue on the Democrats.
No,
he's not a conservative.
Like we were talking about
Corey
before.
Hepler.
No, I think that Dean Phillips is just trying to get his name in there. I think that a lot of the Democrats kind of understand that Joe Biden might not be the nominee. It might become a free-for-all by the end of the primary towards the convention because Democrats are going to have to choose their nominee by then. So I think that he's trying to get a head start, and just getting his name out there further so that
I
he
don't
can be
think
in
he wants
contention.
it. I don't think he wants to do it. I think he wants to encourage other people because, like,
Well, he
What
said
does
he's
he
well
gain?
positioned to run, not well positioned to win. That's what he said before.
right. Well, he thinks that he'd be a good president, but like, it's just so random. Why him? You know what I mean?
Well, he's been critical of Biden just for the age stuff and some other
Yeah.
things, but yeah, and I think that's really his only concern. I think that, on policy, him and Joe Biden are basically on the exact same page.
Well, and he was just saying how Kamala Harris is so great the other day too. So like, yeah, I mean, he comes off as a moderate. He's probably more appealing to the average person than Biden, but
Yeah.
age is really his main issue, I think.
And I think he's being nice and saying that stuff about Biden and Kamala because he has to. You have to if you want to be able to win over these
That's
Democrats. The Democrat Party, whether we understand it or not, they still like Joe Biden.
Well, that's why Vivek's doing well in the Republican primary because he's not attacking Trump. He's kind of saying, "Hey, Trump was great, and I'm my own thing at the same time."
Yeah.
So that,
Right.
Ilhan Omar, it's, quote, it's irresponsible to have a candidate who could possibly guarantee Donald Trump's reelection and destroy any path to progress. With the threat of second Trump presidency, we need to be unified behind President Biden and Vice President Harris and celebrate our accomplishments as Democrats. This is Tim Walz. Congressman Phillips is a good congressman. I appreciate him. He's a friend of mine. President Biden's our nominee. He's the president. He's going to win. And I think all of us should just stay in our lanes, do our work, and things will work out well. Even Betty McCollum says Phillips is a valued colleague and friend, but my focus is squarely on reelecting President Biden, taking back a Democrat majority in the U.S. House.
I think it's funny they didn't get a quote from Angie Craig in that thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I saw the thing you're talking
And
about.
I
It was
thought,
only
and I
those
thought,
three.
I thought they had, I thought somewhere I saw also Keith Ellison weighed in on it too.
Oh, interesting.
They're all on board with Biden, right? And this is the thing about the Democrats. It's not grassroots Democrats. So what the hell is Dean Phillips doing here? That's what are they like, all right, Dean, yeah, we know you're trying to build up your profile a little bit and then come across as a moderate in your district because your district's not that far left leaning. Is that what's going on? Is it as simple as that? I mean, this guy couldn't be generally doing this. I mean, it's interesting. It gets us talking because there's no other news in Minnesota right now. Like, right? Like Minnesota's like everyone's taking a break from politics, it appears, like the last couple weeks, right?
Well, even the politicians are taking a break from politics, which is why we don't have any news to talk about. And some of you guys complain that we
Come
don't
on.
talk enough about Minnesota stuff, but like we do our best to talk about Minnesota stuff. It's just
Right.
like there's a lot more going on in the national environment right now.
It's at least been a month since a state legislators chugged a bottle of vodka in a parking lot.
Has it
liquor
been a month
store.
already?
Just got charged for that.
Yeah.
So,
Ugh.
yeah, I can't help it. Can't force the news, right? Or can we? No.
They're going to use that against you.
Yeah.
someday.
And then they're gonna get my Twitter account.
Yep. They're going
Oh,
to
yeah.
subpoena you.
I never really used my Twitter account. Wonder what would even be in there.
Oh, they'd probably subpoena the A4L account,
Yeah.
which you should all go follow, by the way.
Would you ever chug a bottle or a box of wine?
Not in a liquor store parking lot, at a party or something maybe.
What
You
if
know-
the party was in the liquor store parking lot?
That's a tough one. I can't imagine that's the best place for a party. And also, why are you there?
Yeah, restocking right there.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
So the reason we're talking about this, as some of you guys heard this coming into the show, but I'm going to a dinner party. And I was asking like, what's a good bottle of wine to bring?
Well, let's go. So let's talk about that. What is give us without telling us the names of the people, like set up the dinner party for us.
Well, I don't know how much personal information I want to reveal.
No,
but-
no personal information. Just give us demographics, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's literally just a family.
What kind of family? Like big family?
Well, it's for my it's just the wife and husband, and then their kids are not going to drink, obviously, but
Okay. Not obvious. I come from Wisconsin originally.
well, they're young kids.
Okay, so you're going over. It's just you. Well, I guess you are married now. I was gonna say just you. That's weird. So
No,
you
but
and your wife.
no, she's out of town. She's on a work trip.
So
right
you're
now.
just going.
Well, it's with my other employer.
Yeah, I know, but you just are going over to the house solo.
Yes.
Well, that's awkward. That's not.
Okay, I
how's
don't
that a
think it's
dinner party?
awkward.
That doesn't even sound like a
Well,
dinner
what
party.
would I call that otherwise?
I don't know.
Like,
Going
if
over to
not-
someone's house. Are you nervous about this?
No. I just
Okay.
want to know what bottle of wine I should buy.
Okay. So, and you, what is your budget?
I don't know, $30 probably.
You just went up $10. Wow, inflation.
Well, why'd you ask me the question? if
I
you knew the
was,
answer?
because the audience didn't know that. You said $20 before we went on air. Like we were talking about this right before we went on air, and you just went up $30. Look how bad inflation is, right there. You know, that's like 2/3 of a meal at McDonald's right now. $30 bottle of wine. All right, $30 bottle of wine, and you were looking for recommendations. What did you suggest, Jesse?
Yeah, I said get a box of wine. It's cheap, it's effective, and I was saying that every single wine tastes the exact same unless it's like a top tier one. Everything from $50 on down, it all tastes the same.
So actually, if I were going over to one of my buddies' houses, like I would totally bring a box of wine. But this is, I'm not gonna. Presentation-wise, it doesn't look great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh
Sure.
my God, I want you to bring a box of wine just so we could see the reactions.
Oh, okay.
Because the wife's going to be very nice, right? I assume the wife is, so the guy is the other, is the guy that's employing you, is that right?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
so the wife's going to be super nice. It's going to be like that Michael Scott, scene where he goes to David
Thinking
Wallace's
about
house.
this will be great for cooking.
Yeah.
No, I
I was
wasn't
thinking
talking
about
about the dinner party.
Oh,
One of
okay.
the greatest episodes ever. But no, like David Wallace's wife, I think, you watch the show more recent than us, Dawson.
Yeah.
Doesn't he bring over like potato salad that was sitting in the car? And she's just like smiling and being nice. So, well, thank you for bringing this. And like, we're not going to put that out, Maybe I'm totally forgetting it. But that's what I was thinking is like, she's going to be so nice, but she's going to be like, this cheap ass brought a box of wine.
So it looks like we got some suggestions in the comments here. So Glenn says, "I like
Mad Dog 2020. That's quite the suggestion.
Mad Dog 20." I actually don't know what that is.
Oh,
Is that a
really?
wine?
Yeah, no, it's a type of wine. It's kind of like if you were to be somewhere in between wine and a Four Loko. That's what Mad Dog is.
Well,
So
first
it's
of
not
all,
a
I didn't
wine?
even know they made Four Locos. So this is like caffeinated wine. Is that what I'm understanding?
It's kind of like that, yeah. No,
Okay.
and yeah, no, I had my fair share of them in college in 2020.
And these are still, like, they
Oh,
still
yeah.
make these?
Oh yeah,
Because you never see Four Locos anymore.
yeah.
By the
not-
way, William, I'm going to do you a solid. I actually rate. I got a Google sheet. You can't have access to it, but I rate. My wife and I rate wines.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
We're not like sommeliers. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. We just know what we like. And so, but we like to be in that $10 to $20 range.
Oh, sure.
So we rate it and just to see what we like. So, because otherwise what you do is you go to the store and you can't really remember. What were you going to say, Dawson?
No, I just think that it's funny that that's the kind of hobby I get to look forward to doing when I get old.
Oh.
You could do it now if you wanted to.
Yeah, I also
well, you
don't
want to
drink,
throw the
so
old
it's-
joke
it's-
in there. I
See,
noticed that too.
I'm the youngest one here, and yeah, I'm the one, like, looking to go out and buy a
Yeah,
bottle of wine.
William's the youngest one here. Isn't that weird? It's weird to me.
I know. You all seem like children to me.
$25 bottle of wine. Glenn Cotton says Marquette grape genetic from. I don't know what the brand is on that one. I lost it.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask about Glenn's comment. Am I able to buy that from a regular store, or do I have to go to like a special U of M orchard? or
Yeah,
something?
don't waste his time. Okay, enough. of this.
Wow, gee.
No, but I'm serious. If he's got to go like halfway across the city, what can you go get at Total Wine just down the street? Or
Yeah, because I'm going after work today. It's,
yeah, exactly.
so
That's tonight.
it's tonight. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Get Seagram's.
Get
That's-
Phillips vodka.
Seagram's is straight up one of my favorites. Definitely.
Bogle I saw was mentioned. It didn't get good ratings. It got an average 6.6 between me and the wife on our rating, but that was a Merlot, not a red.
Yo, wait.
one.
6.6?
Yeah.
That's
You're like
that's the show
Portland.
today.
what?
66.
Oh, hey,
Oh.
yeah, there
So
you
you
go.
gotta
So
use
that's
that
the
one.
wine.
Wow,
What's the name of the wine?
amazing. Unbelievable.
Here I am trying to throw entertainment value into our show and liven it up.
That's entertainment value? Oh man.
I'm pretty
entertaining than
entertained
this.
by this conversation. I
You're
don't know.
the
People are
subject.
chiming in.
What was the conspiracy we were talking about before? We were going down a path of conspiracy, or was that a different conversation I had with someone else in my head?
Jake,
What
you're
was the
watching Jake
conspiracy
lose
talk?
it live
Didn't we have
on
a
air.
conspiracy talk earlier? Do I not remember this right?
Was it the COVID thing? We talked about
COVID
conspiracy.
thing. Yeah,
COVID
yeah, it was
stuff.
about COVID.
Oh, the origins of COVID, like whether or not, or the lockdowns rather, like whether or not it was.
climate change lockdown. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dawson didn't really see things the way we did, right? All right, so let's see here. You know what? I think here's what we do. If you feel really compelled that you got the right bottle of wine, first person to do a $10.
Yeah, I'll
Rumble
buy
Rant,
whatever
will buy
wine you
wha-
suggest.
Holy shit, that's really funny. $10 Rumble Rant. Whatever you put on there, it's got to be under $30.
And available at Total Wine and More.
Yeah, he will buy. There you go.
Yep.
And
And
give it to
I could see that
whoever
either
these
being you
people
really
are.
feel compelled that you got the right wine, or you want to mess with him. Are you going to agree to the terms where you actually have to bring it to the dinner party?
I will send a picture of me buying the
Does
wine.
this new employer know what you do, like through this show? Because it could be a good topic of
I don't think
conversation.
they know about the show. They know loosely what I do, though.
Would they? I mean, obviously you're getting to know this person, but would they at least appreciate the humor that? Listen, I brought this up on the show. Jesse said a box of wine. Someone's gonna pay Jesse. Look, Jesse's on his phone right now getting a $10 for the box of wine.
Yeah.
Okay. That would they appreciate the humor of that?
I think they would,
Okay, there you go.
especially
$10.
if I could go back and point and like here's the segment. Oh no,
There you go. What do we got? Louis Jadot Beaujolais.
All right.
Beaujolais. Beaujolais are good, actually.
Thank you,
and it's
Bad
going
Hat
to cost
Harry.
you $30 probably. Okay,
oh,
so
yeah, this looks like a good bottle of wine.
a Beaujolais is a specific kind of wine in France. Look at me. Look how sophisticated I sound right now. Isn't this great? The only reason I know this is there's a good friend that I have, and that's their wine. All right. So I think you're going to spend $20, $30 on that, and that's going to be very unique. Bad Hat Harry, well done. Okay.
you have
I was
spared
hoping
me.
for the joking route on
You
that one.
spared me. Thank you.
I was really hoping for like the box of wine, Phillips vodka. People got so much fun.
I was getting
Phillips.
really
32
close.
ounce Gatorade.
I was going really close to throwing in the fireball.
The Fireball.
Yeah. That would've been
Fireball, that would have been great. Oh, but Bad Ed Harry, you saved him. Total
Yeah,
wine,
actually,
$14.
this is,
That's not bad.
Oh, the one I'm looking at, 16.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cheap.
There you go. Very good. Very good recommendation.
Very good.
I don't have
Very
that
good.
rated, but I imagine he's correct. Okay, William, are you satisfied now that you've got the response to that question?
I am satisfied. I will. Maybe next show I can show a picture of me buying the wine. If it was a joke wine, it'd be a better bit, I guess.
It would have been
but,
much better bet.
yeah.
God, that would have been so fun.
But I'm actually thankful for this wine because I don't know the gentleman too well yet, so I'm pulling out a joke wine for dinner with this family might not be the
Yeah.
best.
It looks like Joe Biden is live talking right now about delivers remarks on the 1 year something or other.
Pull it up. Let's see what's going on here. It's the
So,
hang.
it-
We can
just
do
in
it.
case you guys want actual news.
Yeah, well, we are a news show. I don't know why we start talking about wine so much here. Oh, it hasn't started yet? The 1 anniversary of the PACT Act. I can't even remember what the hell the PACT Act is.
Yeah.
What was the PACT Act?
I mean, that's the thing. Look this up, one of you guys. What is the PACT
Got it.
Act?
I'm gonna
It's some bullshit.
gonna
Oh, that's right. So going back to the story about the guy that was shot. So he was from Utah, and this is the Biden's in town, right? Salt Lake, Utah.
It expands VA health care and benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances.
What's wrong with that?
My grandpa's a part of that, I think.
I never said there was something wrong with it.
You said it was some BS thing.
Oh, well, I was assuming.
every bill is BS. You know, to some
Yeah.
extent. Who knows what's really hidden in
Yeah,
all
I
the lines
suppose.
of this thing? I'm sure it's a terrible bill.
What are you
but-
trying to pin on me? Like,
Well, no, you're just.
I might
like,
be a victim of that. I
you're
don't
just
know.
talking trash about this bill.
I
and
know.
not
Let's
even-
Biden. That's what I do. I don't feel like he's gonna sign something good, but yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'd have to look at the bill, but that is an issue, by the way. Burn pits, the trash that they burn over. Oh God, I'll tell you what. Iraq wasn't as bad smelling as Kosovo. Kosovo had just a stench. It's almost as if it's like that Canadian wildflower stench.
Oh,
Always
gross.
had a stench. There's like places in Kosovo, and this is where I was like part of NATO, which I could go on a long diatribe about that. But it's like a gorgeous landscape void of animals because they shot them all up, and these rivers that were just trashed. That's like what happens when communism fails, right? Old Soviet system fails, and then you just get these nations that have to be rebuilt. It's so sad. But yeah, in Iraq, I remember them burning. I remember this big. Well, this was actually natural gas. They were burning off natural gas like a couple miles from base or something like that, and it was just an expensive blow off. But that was part of the. They couldn't harness this stuff. The other thing that was interesting about Iraq when I was there was a. We were close to the Qasr port, and the port used to have like 7 oil tankers that could be in there. I think there was only 1 that was available, right? So there's so much more oil. Going back what you were saying at the beginning of this thing, I remember back in the day, and this is like the 90s, maybe early 2000s, we were supposedly running out of oil. It was like 90 years left at best case scenario. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
Yeah.
We found so many new things. Of course, everyone knows about the shale rock formations and this tar sand up in Canada. But it's just there's so much more oil than we even anticipated. Yes, it is finite, but it seems like we're not going to run out of it for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Bad Ed Harry, I was among other things the field sanitation NCO for my last company. Interesting. Thanks for your service, Bad Ed Harry. So there you go. Field sanitation. You know, they used to burn shit over in Vietnam. Like that was the average job. You know, nowadays in the military, like everything is subcontracted out. Even like base security. People don't know that. We don't even really have soldiers in a lot of our gates, at least the bigger FOBs and bases overseas. It's contracted out to like foreign nationals.
Isn't that what the movie War Dogs was about with Jonah Hill?
Yeah,
I don't know if I saw that movie.
it's good.
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
saw it some years back. I thought it was good.
Yeah, Tucker says oil is renewable. That's true. It is very renewable, just very slow to do it. Wait, does that count for the renewable by 2040? Oh, man. What else we got to talk about here? Should we go to this Fauci thing? Pull up the clip on smoking gun. Fauci lied to Congress. This was on Fox News today.
Oh, sorry.
What's that? Do you have it start?
I've been a silly goose. This thing is finished being live.
Oh.
Oh, well, once again, I don't know if this really mattered.
It looks like he also talks about the Hawaii fires. And at their initiatives to help veterans. So I don't know.
Well, does he fall or trip or anything like that? Does he stumble over his words?
It doesn't say anywhere over here on the highlights about him eating shit, but he might.
Well, let's hear the beginning of it.
Take a seat if you have one. Sarge, thank you for that introduction. You know, it's important for 2 reasons. One, I have been in and out of Iraq and Afghanistan over 38 times, and I don't think most people know, this audience may know, how many women we have in combat. How many women are not only doing their part, but doing jobs that most people didn't think women would do or could do. And the Sarge is an example of just that. You know, Black Hawk helicopter is, anyway, I won't go into it all, but the point is that, you know, Sarge, what happened to you has happened to thousands of people. Governor and I talked about that earlier, the governor and I, about what we're doing here.
Yeah.
You
I can't
know,
even stand it. I mean, this guy's just.
You and your fellow veterans are the
Yeah, I
Dead
guess
man
I
walking.
just was reading that. I guess he's in Utah giving this speech,
Yeah.
which is interesting. You know, if I'm Joe Biden, I wouldn't go to Utah because, yeah, it's not like he's got any electoral success there or anything. You know, you'd figure that you go to where you got some supporters.
Yeah, I wonder what the relevance of Utah is.
There's a congressional district there that's vulnerable, right? Like there's
I guess
one
there is that one that
leans.
goes back
There's
and forth.
2 congressmen from Utah?
Oh, there's more than 2.
Yeah, isn't it 4?
Yeah.
3 or 4? Yeah.
Do I not know how populated Utah is? I
It's
thought Utah.
pretty popular.
Yeah, no, it's got a
All the
decent amount of
Mormons live
people.
there.
Well, I
I
am
once-
aware of that. Utah.
I
Utah-
once saw a young teenage couple get engaged in a gas station in Utah.
Nice.
Very on brand for Utah.
It was weird, but it was gorgeous. And then as I was pulling out of the gas station, there was a biker gang of like 50 bikers that pulled in. It didn't feel real.
There's 3.3 million people in Utah. You guys knew this? I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know there was that many people in Utah.
How many
Yeah, it
do you
looks
think
like they
were
got 4 congressmen.
I thought it was like less than Montana, and Montana doesn't even have 1 million.
No.
No. I think the Salt
I
Lake
did
City
not know
area
that.
is like the vulnerable district
Yeah,
for Republicans,
right.
but it goes back and forth.
Yeah, but they got a few big cities in Utah, so
Montana is 1.1 million people. I thought
Mm-hmm.
Montana, like I knew it was more populated than Montana, like per capita.
mhm.
I did not know it, and I've never been to Utah. Actually, it's one of the few states I haven't been to. I'm sure I'd love it, but they got the big Moab Desert and everything. Like, what do the Mormons live in high rises right above each other? Like, how on earth do they squeeze 3.3 million in that state? I did not know this. I just learned. So they actually have a vulnerable seat, you're saying, in Utah for Congress.
Yeah, isn't that Burgess Owens?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
his seat. Now maybe they redistricted it so it's less vulnerable. I really don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, no, it's just one of those. That could, it's going to be a close election, but yeah, no, that's my understanding of it too.
U.S. congressional districts in Utah. Yeah, there's the purple one, which I imagine right there in smack dab in Salt Lake City. It actually looks like it's just south of it. It's probably all the burbs. So that's congressional district 4. And then you got 2 on the west and 3 on the east, which are just massive. Well, I definitely learned something today. Burgess is 4. Yeah, so there you go.
Oh, he's in a R+16 district right now.
Yeah, all these
Oh.
say they're
All of them are strong R. So let's see what it was before. Because I guarantee, like,
Because I think it was remember Mia Love,
Yep.
yeah,
that black lady Mormon from
she just
Utah.
barely lost.
Huh?
She just barely lost. in,
Yeah,
what
she
was that,
barely lost,
2018?
and
Yeah.
she's actually a rhino, but yeah, no, she barely lost, and I think it was Burgess Owens who ran against the Democrat who defeated Mia Love. Not 100% sure on that, but I
Yeah, it looks
vaguely
right.
remember that.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I totally forgot about the whole Mia Love thing, and she did lose that race. But that was probably in 2018, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
because Trump was
2020
refusing to help her and endorse her. He said, "Mia Love gave me no love, so I'll give her no love. She just lost bigly. Too bad." he
Too
was
bad.
Ben
he was
McAdams.
happy to see her out the door.
Okay. Ben McAdams, the Democrat that beat
Yeah.
Mia Love in 2018.
Yeah.
We are not experts on Utah politics, by the way, but I'm impressed. Aren't you guys impressed? These political junkies. This was not planned at all. This just came up spontaneous.
Well,
These guys
I worked
just know,
in Utah.
they know this
for-
stuff.
I worked on the campaign against Mitt Romney for U.S. Senate, the Republican primary, Dr. Mike Kennedy, and I knew that we had a tough time going after Mitt Romney, but we were putting in the work. So yeah, I've done a little bit of research and time in Utah.
You're
That's-
not helping the primary this time around for Utah Senate.
Well, maybe I'll help some way
should go do
somehow,
that.
but
Trent
yeah, no, I don't
Staggs
know.
looks,
It'd be interesting to see who ends up being the guy that runs against Mitt because. Yeah, it looks like Mitt's running again. It's unfortunate. That guy just needs to retire, go away. But yeah, no, I mean, there needs to be one consolidated conservative to rally behind against Mitt Romney. And, now that Romney's been in there for 6 years and he's gotten a lot of the people of Utah angry with how he's been doing things. And so, yeah, no, I think if there's ever a chance to take out Mitt Romney, this is the time.
Right.
That'd be so great.
Yeah, I want Orrin Hatch to run again.
What?
I want Orrin Hatch to.
I thought he died.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
no,
sure
he's
he's still in?
dead now. No,
Oh,
he's
okay.
dead. But
Oh.
I want him to
man.
run against Mitt Romney back in 2018 because I thought if there's anyone who could beat Mitt Romney, it'd be Orrin Hatch.
Yeah, but it's not like you can prove. It's the same person.
No, Orrin Hatch is a
It's
couple
the
of notches.
same
No,
person.
Orrin Hatch
he's
was a
better
little
than
bit more
Romney,
conservative.
100%.
Yeah.
In what regard? Come on.
Well, I
Like
mean,
every regard.
when was it?
Romney's like a Democrat, man.
Yeah.
Orrin Hatch
Well,
was a
if you look at
rhino.
the 2000 presidential election when Orrin Hatch was running, Orrin Hatch was arguably the best of the remaining candidates at that time. When it was down to the final 6, final 7. So
Fake news. Total
Orrin
fake
Hatch is
news.
slightly better than Mitt Romney. I will stand by that.
All right. Whatever. Well, yeah, it's hard to be worse than Romney, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We were going. Oh yeah, the Fauci story. That's all we got time for. So let's do the Fauci story. Pull this up. 13-second mark. Did you already have the video queued, Dawson?
I did, but I took it off for the other YouTube video. Let me
Okay,
pull it up.
we're just run it so we don't have the ads here.
Yep.
This is Dr. Senator Rand Paul on Fox News. I think this was this morning. It was released this morning, and this is talking about how they got Fauci basically on smoking gun lies. First of all, we're gonna play when Fauci lied to Congress.
Knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement. You do not know what you are talking about.
Really? Senator Rand Paul
No, keep playing it.
filed the criminal referral and joins us now. Senator, you've been all over this. You've been aggressive. You've been determined. It seems we're at the threshold to the point where you called Matt Graves and said, I need you to look at this. What turned the tables for you? What evidence do you have?
Well, you know, I don't think there's ever been a clearer case of perjury in the history of government testimony, and I don't say that lightly. He said adamantly that the government never funded this gain-of-function research. We now have the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, has admitted that the funding came from the NIH. We have the acting director, Tabak, of the NIH, admitting it in writing that it came from the NIH. But now we have really the smoking gun, and that is Fauci in private saying the opposite of what he was saying in public. When he was publicly telling me that absolutely we do not fund gain-of-function research in China, he says privately, we are suspicious that the virus has been manipulated, and we are suspicious because we know they are doing gain-of-function research. He then goes on to describe the research, and it's exactly the research that the NIH funded. So he's caught dead to rights here, but we have an incredibly partisan Attorney General Garland who's refusing to act. So I've taken the extraordinary step of actually going to the local U.S. attorney in D.C. to see if he will act. Now, the problem is there are partisans littered throughout the legal system, and people are seeing this. You don't get prosecuted if you're a Democrat under this administration, no matter what you do.
And one of the lines
All right,
in
let's
the
stop
internal
it there.
communication
And
that
that
we
not
recovered was
not a truer statement's ever been made there, right? We don't seem to see Democrats getting prosecuted unless it was a judge that broke up the deal with Hunter Biden. He wasn't going to get really prosecuted, at least not actually serve time for what he did. And that story just keeps unfolding, which is interesting. I just saw in this comment here, where was this?
From Napkinator.
Napkinator, Fauci. I didn't realize this, and I looked it up while this was playing. Go to F13. I didn't know that Fauci has this private detail. Now, wasn't it that Fauci was the highest paid government employee, right?
Yeah, like 500K, something like that.
I've never seen this. Click this video. I'm very curious about this here.
Security 24/7. It started in the spring of 2020. You know, and they go with us everywhere we go. I never answer the door. I never answer the phone. We don't get any mail at the house. You feel like you have to be aware all the time that there's a possible danger. You didn't smell the rose yesterday. Want to smell it? See if you can smell it.
Yeah, let me see.
That's awkward.
Got it?
Yeah.
Good. Some of the messages.
Oh, he's
make
got a
me
mask on.
furious.
Look at this guy.
I mean, I get some on my own. You know, you're gonna rot in hell, and you should be hung. You know, things like that.
What's this?
I mean, it's very sad, actually. Sometimes it's scary, but mostly it's sad.
Oh,
I mean, there are two things that are true. One is I know how hard he works.
Look,
and
at
how much
security's
he
got a
cares
mask
about
on.
what he's doing. And I also
This is
get to
fucking
see
nuts.
lots of positive feedback that he gets from people.
Thanks. One of my heroes. Yeah, good to see you.
Oh, yeah. And that's the
care.
other problem. One of my heroes.
You would
God.
think that some of the
What is with this
gratitude
masked
was
security
a positive
detail?
thing. It doesn't feel positive. It feels exposed. You feel so exposed. I mean, that doesn't feel good. That's not a positive way to go through life.
Dead at 82. That's what it looks like. That last
Yeah.
screenshot's like that looks like someone just died.
He is surprisingly like there at 82.
Yeah,
you know what I
he
mean?
does look younger and acts younger than he actually is.
Right. I would
Yeah.
assume, like, if I had no idea, I'd assume he's in his late 60s.
Uh-huh.
Did
I
you
was
guys-
having a good day until I saw that shit.
Yeah, no,
really
that's
pissed me
really
off.
weird. And, you know, the whole stage smelling of the rose, you know, that was just like, you know, does this guy forget how to be human? You know, do they not know how to talk to each other anymore? Do they have to act like these robots?
I thought he had long COVID. I didn't think he could smell anymore.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Fauci that has long COVID? Or am I thinking of Osterholm?
Osterholm.
Osterholm.
The reason that
No,
felt
Fauci.
so staged was because they had a camera
This-
up in his face while he was smelling
Yeah.
the flower.
That's true.
Hmm.
So funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course, if you Google Fauci long COVID, it's going to not just talk about if he had it.
Yeah.
If you Google Osterholm long COVID, you will get an article from the Strib
Okay.
about.
I definitely remember Ostrom. I was thinking both.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, there's really no justice, you know. Of course, the left is like, well, Trump gets a security detail. But, like, you don't get a security detail unless you're the
Well,
president.
nobody
of the
elected
States.
Fauci to do anything. You know what I mean?
No, and he's blown up two what's the AIDS? Was it called an AIDS pandemic? What
AIDS
they called
crisis, I
it?
think.
AIDS crisis.
Yeah.
He's blown up two crises.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what, like,
Well, and Trump always goes after Biden for H1N1. You know, and Fauci was in charge then too, so I guess he can
Yeah.
bear some blame as well.
I'll tell you what, I hope we can change the tides in this country. You know, we talk about our CFB thing, which just pales in comparison to what's happened on the grander scale, right? Not to like belittle what's going on. What these guys are doing is really bad, and they're going to do it to other people. Anyone that actually goes against the political establishment here in Minnesota. But, like, you know, there's some really sinister things happening. You know, the interesting thing is I think it's pushing people back into religion. So I think people are starting to see some real clear lines between good and evil, right? Clearly these people are evil. We were talking about this beforehand. Like, no one's asking about Epstein anymore. Seems like it's rare. But no one believed Epstein was suicidal and that he killed himself. No one believed it. So in other words,
I just saw a video of Bill Maher saying he thinks Epstein did kill himself.
did he? Okay.
Yeah, no, and also apparently Bill Maher went to the island. Bill Maher was on Epstein's island before.
No kidding.
Because Riley Gaines, you know, the swimmer who, you know, lost to the transgender, she was just on Bill Maher's podcast, and yeah, no, she asked him about it. She said, "I heard you were on Epstein's island. You think he killed himself?" And yeah, she was putting the screws to him a little bit.
Did she really?
It was kind of cool.
Can we get that clip? I want to see
Oh,
this.
I don't know if there is a clip of it, but I'll do.
So
some
he didn't
looking real
deny
quick.
it?
No, he no.
Interesting.
I'll see if I can find something.
Well, I mean, the point I was trying to make is Epstein doesn't kill himself, right? No one believes he killed himself. So not only did they get away with murder and no one investigated it, there had to be so many people in on this thing, right? The guards who fell asleep and the security cameras that went off. Like, this didn't happen just by one person. This was a conspiracy. Many people were involved in it. They got away with that shit. They're getting away with a lot of stuff. Hunter Biden, they're getting away with a lot. It does seem very obvious that Biden was selling his influence to foreign entities for money, right? They get away with so much shit these days. And Fauci's gonna get away with something that killed 6 million people. Because everyone believes. Am I tiring you out because you didn't get another Diet Coke? That's unbelievable. He's yawning over there.
Yeah, you just bore me, Jay.
It would take like a vaccine injury for Fauci to wake up. You know, he'd have to get one, or his wife would have to get one, or something for him to finally wake up.
Oh, even
and-
then, he wouldn't. I don't think he would turn his back on vaccines.
Yeah, maybe not.
He's getting kickbacks from this stuff.
Yeah.
He'd never do that.
Right.
All right, let's go to some comments and let's sign off here. What do we got?
I'm scrolling back. We got a lot of good comments this show. If I don't get to it, I'm sorry.
Pick either Cheney, Dick, or Lynn worse than Romney, and that is saying something. I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough one. Cheney, I don't think he can get worse than Cheney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Tucker-
would. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'd say Romney is slightly better than Liz or Dick Cheney.
Let's
Like-
just say even. Let's call
Yeah,
it
they're
fair.
close.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
tie.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
what was it that Mitt Romney had just said that we were paying attention to, that he supported censorship or something?
Yeah. What was that? And he like turned against Trump real quick on the classified documents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been nothing but bad.
Yep.
A Napkin Nader 79 said earlier that Jesse's been so quiet, I thought he was absent today.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with you being so quiet today. Subjects that you didn't want to get into.
No, I'm obviously getting into them.
Well, I mean,
but
earlier
no, I
on.
mean, I'm just not going to say something if I don't have something to say.
Well, that's a
You
good.
can only read the Perry Johnson campaign talking points.
Yeah, right. There ain't much.
Yeah, I know. I should bring in I got a Perry Johnson hat, so I should bring that in.
The problem is that whenever Jesse speaks up, he always has a great point. So his bar is way higher than the rest of us.
There you go.
Like I just pipe in and say, "Oh, I watched teenagers get engaged," and that's it. That's my peak today.
Speaking of peaks, do we have a hot take today? I mean, I don't have any water to splash in myself, but any hot takes?
My hot take is that we need to restock the fridge with energy drinks and diet sodas.
Okay. Message received.
I'll give a hot take too for doing it. Trump called out the Georgia prosecutor and said that she was sleeping with the head gang leader.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's a hot
Yeah.
take right there. That's
Okay, what's
that is
that all
why
about?
I don't know.
What is that about?
No, I don't know. I tried to look into it. Most of the stories that I found online about it were all just defending the prosecutor,
Correct.
saying, oh, Trump is just making this stuff up. And one article said that Trump is mocking her sex life. Whatever it is. But I think Trump wouldn't make an allegation like this if there wasn't some truth behind it. So.
What do you think the truth is, though?
I think that she slept with the gang leader. I don't know why
That's
Trump.
true. That's
I
all
don't
the
know
truth.
why Trump would say this if not. And
Oh.
it's such a wild allegation. He had to have.
Guys, we need to take a second and thank Brad Ganser. He sent $5 over for energy drinks.
I don't even buy a drink. I
Yeah,
mean, how
but-
can you say plural drinks?
That's
Gets
two.
you 2 at Speedway.
Does
that's-
it? Is
Yeah,
that what
it's the
two
2 for
what,
$5.
Monsters?
It's
No,
one for me, one for
Ghost
William.
energy drinks. That's my drink of choice.
That is?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's one for me, one for William.
Hey, there you go. I'll go pick some up after this.
Okay.
When I get the wine, too. I'll probably go pick up the wine right after we're done here.
I tried the stuff that William drinks, and it's too much for me. I like it. I kind
It
of
tastes
just
good.
spat it back up. It was weird.
Well, thank you, Brad Ganser, for that. No,
Yes,
I want to
thank
get to
you.
the bottom of this here, and then we'll sign off. I am very curious about this thing. So you think she literally slept with a gang member that she was prosecuting?
I would think so because, I don't know for sure. It sounds like there's a lot of gang problems in Atlanta, and it sounds like when she was going in there, she was supposed to clean it up, and she may have gotten her hands dirty in this whole process. So I don't know. I don't think Trump would make this kind of accusation if it wasn't true. There's got to be something about it that's accurate. So
Well, now we're
I
gonna
can't
see
wait
all
for
the-
it. And it just these people have no credibility.
Right.
And considering the fact that if this is true, this is going to remove all credibility, and nobody's going to take this prosecutor seriously. So, but Trump is ahead of these things. Hunter Biden, he was calling out a lot of this stuff before people knew for sure, and when they were calling it Russian disinformation. So when Trump says something like this, he's usually right. He's usually telling the truth. So I can't wait for it to come out.
No, all the mainstream publications are going to pounce on this and
Yeah.
be like, oh, it's fake news. And then like a month later, we're going to learn, oh, actually, this is true.
Yeah, right.
K-Wall for Life solved the dilemma. He gave us $10 for a few more energy drinks. Cheers. I'll cheers you with my empty
Thank
Coke
you,
can.
K-Wall and T-Wall. I'm sure T-Wall's watching. The interesting thing, though, is I feel like people are like, he needs more energy. That's why they're doing it. You know what I mean?
Low energy William.
Low energy. little William. Low energy.
You guys
Little
at home
baby in that
chime in.
world.
Is that why you want us to drink energy drinks?
What'd you say?
Is that why the audience wants us to drink energy drinks? Because we're low energy?
I think it's just my brand at this point. You know what I mean?
Low energy?
No, the energy drinks. K-Wall says, sorry, I've been swamped at work, so we lurk at best and catch the replay here on Rumble, of course.
Oh, God, Brad Ganser, I hate you. God, I hate that guy so much.
$1, one Diet Coke for little Jake. Little Jake, all he needs is $1. He'll For his
Brad, are
little
you coming on
Diet
the show?
Coke.
Brad, are you available on Tuesday? Come on the show, okay?
What if we swapped out all of the drinks here for diet or no calorie drinks?
I think we'll have 100% cancer. Everyone.
I think we'll only get 50% cancer.
Yeah.
I think there's something that you're getting from these things. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
They've
Right.
done studies on aspartame. People are freaking out because the World Health Organization, which by the way we never listened to anyway, but the World Health Organization made it a class 4 carcinogen, which is like the same as what's another class 4 carcinogen?
Probably asbestos.
No, that's like a class 1 carcinogen.
Oh,
like class
you wanna
4
be,
is
you
like
want to be low in class. You want to be high in classes.
I think,
I don't know the
or maybe
classes.
it's the other way around. I don't know. This is like a couple weeks ago.
I thought
was
you were a
doing this research.
carcinologist. No, whatever.
Yeah.
Bad joke. This is not the teenager joke.
Anyway, point being, sugar's not good for you either. Sugar also gives you cancer.
Does it?
Yes.
Just thought it makes you fat.
Well,
I thought I'd seen a
processed
study
sugars.
before that. Well, I'm going to shut up right now. This is bro science. Whatever. I'm not going to. We're going to try to be truthful on this show, and not bring up bro science. Although we do that from occasion. But I thought I heard something like diet drinks fool your body into thinking that you're getting calories, so you actually have to then consume more food. I might be totally and I'm not making this up, but someone I heard that somewhere.
So a simpler way of explaining that, and I've heard this theory before, is that it's your body craves the sweetener, so it just basically fuels your appetite.
Sugar gives you diabetes, not cancer. There you
Well,
go,
no, but
Dr.
like
Seth.
processed sugars, like
can get
also give you
diabetes.
cancer. Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Look, we're all gonna die.
Oh my God! I
at
just
some.
noticed something.
What?
So your comment on the bottom, I think depending how much you give, it stays up a lot longer.
Yeah.
Because you see the $1 went away real quick.
Jay catches on quick.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to run a show here. I don't notice these little nuanced things, okay? And by the way, the audience, see, it's a good thing we put this up there because they wouldn't have no idea what we're talking about because this goes away after the show. So
Right. I always felt bad for the people who were replaying the show because they'd have no idea what we're talking about when it comes to the Rumble comments. Even people on the few people that watch on YouTube and Facebook, which guys, make a Rumble account. It's more fun over here. They have no idea what we're talking about. Otherwise.
YouTube has not suspended us a long time, so we might put some more effort into YouTube. But I don't think you got to go. I don't think you go long YouTube just because we know what they've done, right? But Rumble is not turning out to be the thing that a lot of people thought it was going to be. And I think part of the
disagree.
reason, well, you can disagree all you want, but you're wrong. There's no opinions here. This is fact.
Let's just trash the platform that we put all.
Well, we're on 3 platforms. That's the beauty of. See, we're not beholden to Fox News or one channel or 99.6. We actually could put a show up many different places, right? We just chose to put some money and some effort behind the Rumble. But we're still up on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube. You can go on Facebook. You can go on Zuckerberg. And I think we'll get rid of the Facebook because I don't think we have much of an audience there. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at this in a while.
All 1 people watching right now on Facebook are.
There you go. Great point. X. When X comes in, maybe that's the place we go.
Yes.
Instead of Facebook. And then also we have the audio podcast. I don't know if you guys knew that. So actually, I'd be curious if you guys have another idea of where we should put up our show. We could only do 3. Is only 3 streaming
3.
platforms?
This whole system that we've got can do 3 at a time. And yeah, Jake brought up quickly that we have a Spotify and a bunch of other podcast sites has our stuff. Definitely listen to us there if you get a chance.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Those are easy.
Okay, so real quick, Rodeo55 says it's more fun on Rumble. Agreed. K-Wall for Life says Rumble has been solid for the 3 years I've used it. The Foxhole app is a good platform too. I've never heard of this one.
Well, here's why I'm cautious about Rumble. Okay, so as a producer on Rumble, okay, we work through some stuff. Dawson and I have many conversations, but they've been free speech. That's good, right? We've never been taken down or anything like that. The monetization part's okay. I think the Rumble rants are better than the super chats, if I remember right, the pay structure on that. But I think the problem that I have with Rumble, why don't you do this, Dawson? Pull up the Rumble's, just go to the Rumble's page, just the normal page. And it doesn't catch you. And I don't think a lot of people are going to Rumble, generally speaking. There you go.
This is a not signed in account too.
Okay, it's a not signed in account, and then scroll down. There's something about it that's not as interesting, and they definitely highlight the live shows. But look, once you go down, it's just all gaming. Now maybe you like that, Dawson. Well, no, I get this too. So it's not just Dawson's computer.
So Rumble does push gaming really hard, and I think that it's because Rumble is trying really hard to be a streaming platform like Twitch instead of a video platform like YouTube. It's hard to tell because nobody can touch YouTube when it comes to like the size and how solid their stuff is, like their back end is. But
Yeah, I mean, YouTube's obviously more user friendly. They got way more content, things that have been around for decades,
I don't
15
think
years or
YouTube's
whatever.
more user friendly when it comes to live streams because you can't. It's really dumb how they set up replaying live streams on YouTube because, like, the average person can't find, like, if we did our video on YouTube or we did our live stream on YouTube, you can't go back and find it because it's a separate tab, and people always get confused about that. I think it's really dumb how
That
they
is
have
a
that
dumb
set up.
thing.
that's why I'm saying that Rumble is trying harder to be a streaming platform than a
That
video
makes sense.
platform.
But here's the issue that I think that makes YouTube still so much more superior. There's so much other content on YouTube. So I don't think, unless you're I'm not saying this to be mean to you, Jesse, but you are like literally a political junkie. You have like zero hobbies outside of politics, right?
No, that's not true.
I thought you had no other interests.
Yeah, that's not true.
He likes
Give me
reality
one-
TV too.
Give me one other interest you have outside of politics.
I got lots of interest.
Give me one of them, though.
Yeah, sure. I love watching WWE. I
Oh,
love watching
okay. I
UFC.
stand corrected. Fair
There's all
point.
kinds of things.
That's right. And you
don't
and I
try.
talked-
Don't try to put me in some stupid political box. I'm a
You
lot
are
more
such
than
a political
I'm a
ju-
lot more than just MAGA Jesse. I'll tell
No,
you
I
that.
didn't mean that. I mean literally. Look, you're wearing a Perry Johnson shirt. And I didn't mean this to be offensive to you. But, I talked to you, and you were watching, like, debates from the 90s. You're watching Chicago mayor debates. You are a political junkie. And I mean that, actually, as a badge of honor. So, Rumble is great for you. Now, I totally forgot the WWE. That's a great point. And we talk about UFC. Okay, so fair point. Where do you go to watch those things, right? If you want to watch a clip, you're going to YouTube, right? So you get the great politics you want and the WWE and the UFC stuff from Rumble. That's the same thing for me. I'm at home. I'm watching Kill Tony some Mondays, great comedy live show. Tony Hinchcliffe has the other guests on. Oh, he has Alex Jones. If you want some real entertainment, Jesse, watch that. I'm watching How to Build Cabins in the Middle of the Woods. That's like all my feed. My kids and I like this show called Outdoor Boys. This dad who's got 3 sons, just like me. They go out and do fun stuff. I'm watching car repairs, right? Had a truck issue. So I'm getting all that stuff from one platform and politics. Jordan Peterson's latest thing comes up, a Joe Rogan clip. That's just not on Rumble right now. That's just not on Rumble. So that's my issue, is that it seems like Rumble works really well if you just want to stay in the political lane, but think how much people you're missing out. I am sorry about that, Jesse. I totally forgot about you. Do have some other interests. But Jesse's very high on the politics side. Most people just aren't like there, right? And you are too, William, to be honest with you. You guys consume way more politics than the average person.
Yeah, that's my main hobby, politics.
100%.
I'm
So
fine
the
admitting
problem
that.
is we need to reach those audiences, the people that have other hobbies and other interests, and then it shows up on the feed when you go to the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I could watch Metallica's concert in Sweden or wherever they just were on their world tour, and then in the feed it's going to suggest another Metallica song, another Metallica concert, and then it's going to show like maybe a Tucker Carlson thing or something like that, right? So it's feeding me a bunch of the interests that I have. And Rumble, I don't think it's going anywhere. Go back to Rumble. Go to type in UFC, because UFC is
They
putting
have a
some
deal
money.
with the UFC.
They
Right.
have a whole tab for the UFC.
And just scroll down there. Let's see. I mean, we're talking about low thousands in views. If you saw this on YouTube, we're talking about probably hundreds of thousands in those same videos, views.
See, Jake, you're telling where our main audience is right now how Rumble sucks.
No,
That's on
we
Rumble
have
right
to
now?
promote our live stuff on Rumble, and that's what
Yeah.
Dawson's saying is that it's good. It's good that I was going to say something else. I don't want to say this live on air, but
Let us know in the comments.
Rumble needs to call us. We got some ideas, and we got to talk to them. But yeah, you can see UFC is not bringing over a big audience, and I wonder if they're paying for those. Because generally speaking, I'm watching a lot of this stuff, and they're not generating a big audience. And maybe this is the future. Maybe you get things like this that captures the Jessies of the world, the Jakes of the world, and then we're fed the politics, right? And that was the big problem with YouTube is it's getting a bunch of other channels, a lot of their interest, but then they're censoring one side of the political aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, that's what I think, all right? Brad says Jesse has layers. That was unfair by me, wasn't it?
Little
Jesse,
bit.
you're going to get the rare Jake apology on the show.
I'll take it.
You took such offense to that. I was like trying to give you like a backhanded compliment, but
Yeah, it's
I didn't
not.
take it that way. It was,
No.
Compliment.
And you guys spend the whole
Oh,
show
you don't
coming
have
after
any
me for
interest but
stuff.
politics. How's that for a compliment? Fuck you.
well, because
Whoa.
that's true. Fair point. But that's why we call you the political junkies, right? And when we just tested this live, like Utah comes up randomly, and the amount you guys knew, I was like, damn, I used to be that way. I used to be much more interested in politics. I mean, obviously I still am. I just am like, holy shit, these guys know so much. So anyhow, that's my long story on Rumble. I don't mean to shit on the platform at all, but quite frankly, it just, to me, you can't. YouTube is still superior in that regard. However, obviously, we know their story, and they have silenced and censored good conservative voices.
Jake won't shit on Rumble too much as a platform. I will, because Rumble sucks to use on my, like, from what I have to do. Oh my gosh. Don't upload videos to Rumble. Just watch them. Watch us.
We haven't had that many glitches, though, in the last couple of months, right?
Because I've not told you every single one that I run across. At this point, I just go, huh, and then keep going.
Mm-hmm.
K-Wall says that people look up car repairs, rarely stumble into political videos. Yeah, I guess, but I mean, when you go back, it's going to notice that you have an interest in F-150s, then your interest in like whatever the politics are. You know, it kind of segments it, and I just don't see that same thing on Rumble.
Yeah, I
That's
think
my
Rumble gives everyone the same homepage.
Right. All right. Well, anyhow, that's all we got time for. We appreciate you guys tuning in every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll be back on Tuesday. Brad Ganser. Better not have plans. You better come in here. Come on, you're a big talker. We'll have some energy drinks for you, apparently. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next Tuesday.